Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to an interesting video. So, instead of getting to the final part of Mauler's Outlast review and all, his analysis on that, this week I am actually going to read a review that I wrote for the game back in 2014. Yeah. See, I recently came across a bunch of old lists and stuff I made on YouTube, or not YouTube, wow, on Facebook. Which, by the way, there might be Facebook notification sounds while this is going. I apologize. But one of them is a review I made for Outlast and the Whistleblower DLC. And I thought that, this is timely considering I've been reacting to Mauler's review of the game and everything. Now, I'm going to say right off the bat, this review was made after my first experience with the game. Before I personally played it myself, back at that point, I had only watched it once. And I believe it was with Markiplier's Let's Play. I had watched it all the way through, both the main game and the DLC, and then I wrote this review. I'd only seen the game played once. I haven't played it myself by that point. But these were my genuine thoughts when I wrote this. Now, again, my thoughts have changed a little bit, I'm sure. I'm very doubtful that my thoughts are exactly the same. You guys have been hearing my thoughts as I've reacted to Mauler's review, so we're going to delve into this and see what it's like. I'm just going to read it, so it's just going to be me on screen. And I have not gone through this yet, so I don't even remember exactly what it says. Keep in mind, I might use my old name in here in this review. If it comes to it, I'll just kind of like try to ignore it and say something else. Maybe I'll just say Connie. Basically, my legal name will be in there, I'm sure. But either way, so let's get going with reading this. I'm really interested to hear what you have to say, Everett, since you were the one who suggested the Mauler video, and you tend to have very different views on the game than I do. So let's see what I said back, what was that? Almost 5 years ago. Okay, so there rarely comes a horror game so good that it not only delivers genuine scares and pulse-pounding action, but a brilliantly crafted storyline, interesting and in-depth characters, and gameplay that can rival the best of video games out there. I very much disagree with that last part. The gameplay's fine, but it's not that good. And the characters aren't as in-depth as I kind of make it sound. Does it matter then that in the long run this game isn't that long? No, because every second spent is well worth it, delivering disturbing imagery, terrifying chase sequences, and lore that just brings it all together. That is very true. I still stand by all of that. Outlast is easily the greatest horror game I've never played. I definitely don't agree with that nowadays. It's definitely in my top horror games, but I would not say anywhere near the greatest. Outlast is an independent first-person survival horror game developed and published by Red Barrels. This company is composed of programmers who were previously involved in top video game franchises such as Prince of Persia, Assassin's Creed, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, and even Uncharted. A very high-quality list of accomplishments. So of course you would automatically come into Outlast with high hopes. Well, the game was released on Windows and PS4 on September 4th, 2013, and February 4th, 2014, respectively. But what is Outlast about? What is the storyline of this game? Well, you play as Miles Upshur, a freelance investigative journalist who receives an email tip from an unknown source who's only identified as a whistleblower. The lead tells Miles that there's been some inhumane experiments happening to the patients of the Mount Massive Asylum, a psychiatric hospital in the mountains of Colorado. Once you enter the asylum, your number one goal is to escape, as all hell breaks loose, and so do the variants. Variants are the name given to the asylum's insane and homicidal patients. Throughout the game, you face down a bunch of random variants, as well as a few specific ones, including Chris Walker, Father Martin Archambaud, the twins, and Dr. Rick Traeger. You also have to face the Wall Rider, a mysterious entity inside the asylum. Throughout the events of the game, you have to escape these variants and try to get out of the asylum as you traverse the corridors, basement, sewers, and even the gated grounds. But it only continues from there, or rather, continues from the beginning. Okay, so this is, at this point, I was just like explaining the game, which, I mean, you can't really agree or disagree with because it's an explanation of what happens in the game. Whistleblower is the first and as of now only DLC to be released for Outlast on May 6, 2014. I was kind of under this idea that there might be one or two more DLCs. There wasn't. In the DLC, you play as Waylon Park, a staff member of Mount Massive Asylum prior to the outbreak of the main game. Unhappy with what Mount Massive has become, you send an anonymous email to an investigative reporter named Miles Upshur, but are soon captured by your employer, Jeremy Blair. Whistleblower chronicles the beginning of the outbreak and goes more into how it occurred. A couple of the main game's variants return, mainly the twins and Chris Walker, who, for some reason, I accidentally labeled Chris Parker. Okay. And we're introduced to two specific new ones, Frank Minera and Eddie Gluskin. This DLC, while keeping the same feeling and style as the main game, is darker than the original by a good amount. It delves into some particularly terrifying moments and isn't afraid to shy away from the especially gruesome stuff. I can agree to that. There is definitely some heavy, gruesome stuff in it compared to the main game, especially with the cannibalism aspect of Frank Minera. Plus, Eddie Gluskin is freaky as hell. I acknowledge Eddie Gluskin is freaky. Though shorter than the original game by a noticeable amount, it adds to it in a way few DLCs ever have and actually makes one appreciate the main game much more, as well as fall in love with the horror of Outlast all over again. I can still agree to that. Now, I said before that Outlast is the greatest horror game I've never played, due to the fact that I get panic attacks when playing horror games. That is still mostly true. I do still get panic attacks when playing a lot of horror games. Not all of them. And a lot of the times, more recently, I've been a lot more cautious about them, and I tend to try to calm myself down, like, actively while playing, because I do have trouble with it. I have never actually gone through Outlast or its DLC myself. Again, as of the time I wrote this, I have played it myself, as of currently. However, I have watched multiple ones at that point. I thought I had only watched one person at the point I made this. Okay, never mind. I have watched multiple YouTubers go through the game. Markiplier, PewDiePie, and even Team 4-Star. Oh yeah, Team 4-Star did do that. Because they did it for their Krillin series, with Krillin playing the horror games and whatnot. I forgot about that. And I watched Outlast with PewDiePie? Huh. I completely forgot about that, too. I have experienced it multiple times, and just through watching Let's Plays of it, I have never found myself more scared for anything. No horror game, movie, or any other medium has ever scared me in the way Outlast have. That is very much changed by this point. But at the same time, it's never just terrifying. It's intriguing, exciting, fun, and always entertaining. I still stand by that. In accordance to my rating scale, I give Outlast and its DLC Whistleblower an easy 10 out of 10. That is definitely not true anymore. Again, it's not the best horror game. It's still up there for me. I still really enjoy it, but it's not the best. Anyways, thank you for tuning into the Gamers Lounge. That's what I was calling my video game review series at that point. Next time I'll be going over a game that focuses more on the scares than the story, but keeps interest in a wonderful way. Oh, but I'm not just talking about the game itself, but rather one of its mods. I'll be discussing the SCP Containment Chamber mod, My Little Foundation Containment is Magic. Okay. That was fun, by the way. The My Little Foundation Containment is Magic. That's actually where I discovered Markiplier from, fun enough. Because it was like shortly after I had become a brony and everything, shortly after I got into MLP. And I was looking for MLP stuff on YouTube, and I just happened to discover Markiplier's Let's Play of the My Little Foundation mod. And yeah, it's how I discovered his channel and everything. So that's fun. But yeah, so this review is mostly just discussing what happens in the game. I do get in the game and its DLC. I do give my thoughts and opinions on it though. Um, but I guess back when I was doing reviews like this, I guess I was not actually giving a lot of actual opinion on it. Hmm, interesting. Well, this was a fun video to make. This actually ended up being shorter than I thought, so maybe I will still do the final parts of the Mauler review today. We'll see. We'll see, because I am going somewhere tonight, as I do on Thursdays. Um, you'll probably be seeing both this video or maybe both up much later, either way, when I get back from the bar. So, yeah. Either way, thank you all so much for tuning in. Tell me in the comments below what you think of Outlast and Whistleblowers and the Whistleblower DLC. Um, but remember, I will be going into the rest of the Mauler review, which is going to cover the DLC, because he already finished with the main game stuff. So keep that in mind, especially you, Everett, because we're definitely going to have discussions on that one, I feel. Either way, thank you so much for tuning in, and for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.